Today, the four of us are back together again for a station that opened in 1900.
It got remodelled in 1932 with escalators and a subsurface ticket hall.
A station that added glorious platform art in 1985.
Last remodelled in 2010. Today we're at Marble Arch.
In this week's episode...
Hello. Oh, excellent echo!
Dating!
Ah, look at that. Holiday.
Holiday.
What you fancy?
And it's like they just shut the door and left it as it was.
What year did they arrive?
1932.
1932.
Good job we have those two with us, isn't it?
Fan over there.
Jeepers, Joe.
Now, of course, Marble Arch, it's got to be named after something, maybe a marble arch.
Maybe a marble arch that's right behind you. Just,
my goodness, who put that there?
Well, there it is. Now that particular monument, the Marble Arch, was designed by John Nash and constructed in 1827 as a cœur d'honneur. That's how.
Say that again.
That's your actual French.
Cœur d'honneur.
Oh, that's very nice.
Is that what you have after a heavy night? A cœur d'honneur?
As an entrance into Buckingham Palace, but then it got moved here, and that's why it's named. The station's named after the Marble Arch. Now, kind of an entry into Hyde Park.
I love the concept that the arch represents a gateway, like a beginning, the entrance to something. That's pretty cool.
It featured in quite a lot of railway artwork that I believe things like carriage prints featured it and jigsaws back in the days of the big four railways. But yeah, impressive structure.
I'd love to say something really profound at this point, but I put Vaseline on my lips, I'm not salivating at you.
Oh, God.
So, do you think we ought to go and salivate down there?
Well,
I'm
from
glad you
one
moisturised.
gate to another, let's go inside.
Let's go.
Ooh. 1930s galore, kiddos.
Yeah, both sides.
So we're thinking, am I right in thinking this is sort of
This is 30s.
Holden-esque?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's the right colour,
The
isn't it?
biscuit blue. Odd to see the black with it, but I suppose it's the poster frames.
Oh, wow, I've never seen all of these. The Tyburn tree is where most of the executions in London happened.
Isn't it funny that there's
Gallows.
corridors that are just so underused that not even we've seen them and we're pretty nosy? Isn't that fascinating? So this
God, I want to read all of these, they're amazing.
Oh, there's a poster we have in our collection.
Oh, yeah.
You've talked about that recently, haven't
We
you?
did indeed.
Oh wow, check out the mosaics.
I've not seen this bit.
No.
Well, it's actually really nice. Look at, I mean, it's getting a bit war battle weary now, but that's pretty cool.
So this bit is the bit that we're here to see,
Oh, yes.
and hasn't been used since the Olympics.
Wow.
Wow, look at that. Ooh,
There's
there's an
fly
echo.
just shot in my eye. Oh my god. Well, look, as disused passageways go, this is not the most interesting we've ever been in.
No,
But
it's
it
not.
was actually in use recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they opened it up again for the Olympics in 2012 and then closed it back down because this leads to Hyde Park, right?
Yeah.
Straight to Hyde Park, which is
Should we
interesting.
go
So
on?
just for crowd management, overflow of people,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's why it was last opened.
some cobwebbage.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting they don't keep it open. Why do you think that is, Chris? Just unnecessary?
I mean, this side of the station doesn't seem to get that many people compared
Yeah.
with what we've seen the other two entrances. So I presume there's just not enough people to demand it in normal times. I'm surprised though with like a concert they might not open
Yeah,
it.
like British Summertime or something. Or Winter Wonderland.
Whoa.
Walking in.
Oh,
Well-
it is quite extensive, isn't
So
it?
it does look
Have a
like
little
it carries
look,
on further.
See how you're looking.
That's a very bulbous mirror.
It is. It's
Look at that.
unusually, isn't it? That's a really
That's
heavily
really
domed
sticky
mirror.
outie. It's like it's an outie, not an innie.
Very much.
Right, let's
I'm
see
gonna
what's at the end here.
Carry on down.
Gosh.
I mean, the aroma is interesting.
It's hard to decode,
Paint.
isn't it?
There's paint here as well.
Oh,
Is it a smell of paint? Is it? What?
I'm not going with something even as nice as paint.
Really?
No.
Whoa. Oh, excellent echo.
Tooting!
We haven't had that one for a while.
Tooting!
Tooting!
Anybody?
We are
Do you know
such
what?
children.
Do that one again, just on your own, Sids.
Anybody?
That sounded really good.
That's going in the audio bank for the show. And there you go, that's the end of it.
Well done, guys.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Let's remove ourselves from the aroma.
Ooh, these are quite long escalators, really, aren't they?
And what year did they arrive?
1932.
1932.
Good.
Good job we have those two with us, isn't it?
Before then there were lifts, right?
That's right.
And the station opened in 1900?
On
Correct.
the 30th of July, 1900.
Although officially it opened slightly before for a very special guest, the Prince of Wales opened the line officially in June. There was also somebody else that we've talked about before who came on that. We'll do that on the platform.
Perhaps we should, yes. Look at that.
These are lovely, aren't they?
They're really nice.
I don't know about you guys, but I really like the use of the stripes and the shapes and the primary colours, and this kind of little flash of monochrome then really sets the kind of colours apart from each other. It's a little bit circus themed,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is.
It's gorgeous. And I have to say, they should have called the station Enamel Arch. Because it's enamels, isn't
Very
it?
good.
It's quite unusual, really, isn't it, to have enamel art like this, but that's why it's lasted for such a long time, 37 years.
I think it took a while to prepare as well because each one is kind of individually handcrafted and sprayed. I think there's 17 in total.
And did we say the artist, Annabelle Gray?
It is Annabelle Gray.
Yeah. Also, who we've seen recently, of course, at Finsbury Park. With the tile work there. So
that.
quite a versatile artist and a range of media.
Yeah, I've got to say, I've been through Marble Arch quite a lot and I've spotted these, but I don't think I've ever taken the time to actually look at them individually, how different each one is from the others.
But this is the crazy joy of the Hidden London Hangouts, because we do actually point out the stuff that you should look up at when you're going through a station. You're absolutely
Literally
right.
took the word out of my mouth. I was going to say, it's just a little piece of joy as you get on and off the train on the platforms, isn't it? It just adds that little spark.
I think this is probably the most lively vitreous enamel work that I've seen, because you do get vitreous enamel elsewhere. You've got things like the Robin Denny stuff at Embankment that we've talked about before. But these ones, I don't know, I think it's the variety of them and the motifs within them, things like little sort of Art Deco nods in them. Really, really rather marvellous. Oh, well, better wave at the train.
So one thing I'm noticing, guys, of course, when the Central Line got integrated into the rest of the network, they had to enlarge the platforms. And here you can see what would have been the end of the old platform. Can you see how it's been enlarged?
I don't think I've ever noticed that.
I've never noticed it either. How fascinating.
Absolutely.
Of course, a lot of the Central London Railway platforms were stacked, weren't they? So that they were kind of one under the other, so they'd fit under the road for way leave. But here, they're side by side at the station. Well, look, there's one more of these Annabelle Gray artworks up there, so wave at the driver.
Stand here, you see the kink in the original platform, which is slightly curved, and this is a lot straighter. It went from about 99 meters to 130 odd, so significant enlargement.
So that is what, 5 cars to 8 cars or something like that?
Yeah.
Is that the difference?
Well, the original stock on the Central London Railway was the gate stock, so with these giant camelback electric locomotives, so really heavy.
Yeah.
And when in the 30s they were extending the platforms, they just had to essentially dig them out, just like we talked about at Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
how they had to kind of cut and make it into an island platform. Or here, they just extended the tunnel.
And here we are again with another one of these lovely designs, just to prove that they are all unique, which is really rather cool.
Yeah.
And they are contoured. I don't know if you can feel
Yeah,
this, but
there's texture,
there's
isn't
texture.
there?
Also, as well as being very beautiful and artistic,
Yeah.
it's also quite functional. Do you notice at the top?
It's a vent.
Looks like a vent, doesn't it? Those punch slots.
Now, one of the things that's modern in this station is the tiles, obviously. Very nicely tiled, modern station. And when we're at Warren Street, I know you couldn't make us you're on holiday, but we suddenly realised black isn't always black. Black is blue at Warren Street. These are black, and this is all to do with the colours of the Central Line refurbishment, isn't it? It's white, it's black, and other colours have been brought in, but it's corporate
Yes.
these days.
Yeah, the original Central London Railway had those glass tiles, those white glass tiles, sometimes with a little sort of black ornament to it, but not always. And so they've kind of kept that running throughout the Central Line. You know, most of the modern platforms have just white tiles with, of course, the red colour of the Central Line. So it's going to be interesting to see what remains.
Of the old station, shall we? Shall we?
Before we move on, have you remembered the famous person who
Yes.
was at the opening of the Central Line? Anybody?
Anybody?
It was famed American author Mark Twain.
Oh, well
Well
done, darling. Well
Yeah,
done.
he was living in London at the time, author of, for example, Huckleberry Finn, and he was invited to the grand opening of the Central Line with a banquet at the Wood Lane Powerhouse afterwards.
Excellent work, and this
go for a
demonstrates
banquet.
that City
Sounds
was
amazing
paying
sandwich.
attention during Series 3 of the Hidden London Hangouts,
did
where we
very
talked about it
well.
a couple of times. Shall
Very
we?
well.
Shall we
let's
head
do
on?
this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
So we're going to eastbound platform, yeah?
We are, yes.
The only other platform here. Ooh.
Look at this one.
It's cute, isn't it?
Very,
Love this one.
It's lovely.
very like,
You like to touchy feel it, don't you?
I do, but it's tangible. It's like so many things on the tube, you just feel, you want to feel it. It's just a direct
Can you
push
feel
down
it?
platform there. There you go. Sort of fish paper.
Is this the door?
Find out, won't
Who's
we?
got the key?
Right, here we go. Looks dark, looks interesting.
oh, and I'm seeing tiles.
Where is the switch? There's the switch. Oh, come on in and look at this.
Oh, they are tiles. Oh, nice.
Unusually cream-coloured tiles.
Come on in,
Well,
Law.
I think these have
I
been
was just trying to navigate the
Bring
lip,
your
the
zoom lens.
step, the door, the camera.
Look at this. So this is, but they're not there, is really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, these must have been overpainted.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
they are.
So everyone talks about the Central Line's colours back in 1900 as being white tiles. These
These
are
have
cream. These have been painted over.
Yeah, they
so
have.
they were white, then they went cream, and now they're back to being kind of like a white-ish. Are we ready?
Let me come past. I'll go and set this up there.
We've got stairs.
Wow.
It's
looking pretty good,
Come on,
guys.
The
love.
arch.
Oh, we've got some original treads.
And these are the original tiles, I guess. Mm-hmm. They're filthy.
Oh, they're not glass though.
No,
They're ceramic. Oh,
no, they are grimy though. There is remnants of historical signage everywhere.
yeah.
Does that say Howden Street?
Looks.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
that's not near here though, is it?
it says Somethingdon Street.
And then over there,
And we've got.
But look at this.
Ingersoll.
Ingersoll.
5 shillings is that a week?
Yeah, looks like it.
Ingersoll? I thought it was a company.
Yeah, Ingersoll Rand, I always think
Yeah.
of, yeah.
But also,
But,
guys,
oh,
look.
look, there's posters.
There's
yeah.
posters everywhere though.
This is. Oh. Okay, well, we're going to be here for a little while,
Oh
aren't
God, why did you have to put this right here, guys?
we? Oh, guys, this one won't have any appeal for you. Look, Temperance Building.
No. Well, City's off the booze at the minute for a run.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
then that's all right.
I've managed 2 days.
And guaranteed, what's that say? Nothing that will injure the skin or hair. I need that.
Was that free from any
Oh.
ingredient? Yeah.
But it's in a poster frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Laura, you seeing this? Come on in.
I'm
twice
excited.
daily.
Twice daily. Wonder what that was advertising.
This is incredible, isn't it?
Wow, I love these. This is so exciting.
Wow, this
Ooh,
is
and
like look, I mean, this goes on for quite a way, doesn't
Yeah, look
it?
at it. It's huge.
And it's like they just shut the door and left it as it was.
Yeah.
So this would have been, just to sort of explain where we are, this would have been the passageway to the lifts.
That's right.
So this was a lift station when it opened in 1900, but in 1932 they opened the escalator shaft.
Yeah.
When they did that, did they move the station building at street level?
They
Yeah.
did. So originally it was a Harry Bell Measures designed station building, and the entrance, of course, is a different place because the escalators come up at an angle rather than straight up like the 50-person Sprague lifts that were fitted here.
Now we're talking about the Bell Measure entrances, like at Oxford Circus, where on one side you've got the Leslie Green station, and on the other you've got the Harry Bell Measure station.
Yeah.
haven't you? So
Yeah.
there's still remnants of this stuff
Yeah, so
in London.
there isn't any surface level building from Harry B. Measures here anymore. It was on the corner of Oxford Street and Quebec Street, but it's alas no longer there.
Right.
But I'm quite intrigued to see where this
It's huge.
goes.
I think we should head on down and see how many more posters we can spot along the way.
Right. This is so cool.
Yeah, there's more.
Look at that.
And there's more, and there's more, and there's more. In fact, there's loads
Oh
more.
wow, yeah.
So these posters would have been there in 1932 when they just closed off these passageways and they were no longer needed.
That's right. What do you reckon, Laura?
Look at all of these.
Really, really lovely. And sometimes it's such a shame when not much of the original poster still exists, but then I actually quite like the kind of layering and that there's things underneath the poster. There's paint on it looks like there's paint on the tiles and then a poster and then another poster. You can see the kind of depth of the layers here as well.
It's kind of fun to
The
decode it,
yellow
isn't it?
and the red. I love how the colour survives.
Does anyone know? Look, I've just suddenly realised, is that not Spalding, the sports company? Because the
Yeah, that
typeface
could
looks the
be.
same, like tennis rackets and stuff.
But then, there's so many like posters on top of the posters as well. That there's different colours and letters that are coming through.
I'm all staggered by the fact that I know a
There's
sports
something
company.
big here.
Circus.
Oh yeah, that is
Look.
quite
Let's go to the
quite
circus.
sizable.
Circus,
It's-
Christopher.
Look at the yellow again.
How did they know we were coming?
Yes.
It's got to be
Exactly.
said that the Central Line does pony up some good poster work, doesn't
it
it?
does.
Yeah.
We had a similar thing when we were at Notting Hill Gate.
Yeah.
Just there, close off the corridor, leave everything behind.
Yeah.
And you know, these are not insignificant
But these
tiles.
are all-
These are thick.
Look at
these.
keystone,
Can you
Blimey,
see
Christopher.
that?
that is a chunky
That's a
monkey,
thick
isn't it?
tile, right?
And also, if you look at the backing, you see the
Yeah, the keystoning.
Keystoning is
It looks like a leaf pattern. Oh, that was
like
dusty.
a chevron almost, doesn't it? Yeah, I managed to grind myself in a way that I have not done for a very long time. I don't know if I can get this.
I wonder,
Filthy.
Oh yeah, Liz, on
Filthy.
I knelt down and caught that pipe.
but I wonder if, because of course the Central London Railway normally used glass tiles, I wondered if there was something in the ground here that required them.
What's interesting to
Ooh,
me is if you just
solid
look at
gold bracelets, watches on £6.10 for
Oh,
solid gold.
bargain.
what's interesting to me just here, we've got these archways, which would be normally a
To the
walkway
left.
into the lift.
Yeah.
Look at this. Leaves the skin like velvet.
No soap.
Isn't that cool? What is that brand? What?
They're not sponsors.
DD10.
Something Y. That looks like an E here. But that could be.
Elderly soap.
It's no soap.
But even this,
Look.
I mean, look how vibrant that is. But I mean, these are posters from 1932. This is some of the oldest stuff
It's-
we've seen, guys.
It's gorgeous. Let's keep going. There's-
Ooh.
Oh, hello. 4 and 6.
Looks like a clown.
Yeah, it
4 shillings and
does.
6
Yeah.
Gosh, imagine when this was all in operation, you walked down here, it would have been a burst of colour
Yeah.
in what is otherwise a fairly dull, sort of white,
Yeah.
clean station.
But almost bamboozling, I'd
Yeah.
imagine, for the amount of posters there appear to be on this wall. Because
Yeah.
it must have been literally one after another after another. I wonder if any advertising actually cut through, if there are that many messages coming at you as you walk down the corridor.
Especially as it's all this really shouty red that, as we know, you can use on the underground
Yeah.
because it doesn't fade even
Yeah.
all of these years later.
That's a lovely type.
Look at this. Valid port?
Is it valid on transport or something like that?
Could be.
Or just
Did
you
you just
guys
go
love
straight to
port.
Oh, yeah, no, I always go straight for port.
It's
Love
not a
a
drink
port.
we've ever consumed, is it, guys?
Nope.
I mean, you guys are port
should-
fiends.
My favourite line from that night was, "It would have been cheaper to buy the
Oh.
bottle."
Oh, here we go.
Oh my goodness!
Right,
Look at that.
Great Western Railway.
Wow.
Oh, right. Can you like that? That's just so good.
I feel like it needs cleaning up, but I didn't bring the wet wipes.
Oh,
I know.
is it paper? It's paper. It's paper. It actually comes off. Yeah,
don't
can't
touch it then.
Don't use the wet wipe.
So you see here, these are all Great Western posters.
Right.
Under here.
So if there were to be a stenciled letter, what of the 3 stenciled letters that we've talked about before would have been above that frame?
I mean, it'd be foreign.
Foreign. It
Yeah.
would be an F for foreign because they don't belong to the
They're not
central
general. They're not station.
Central London Railway.
Are these tiles underneath white? They're just very, very dusty.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah.
But even here, so you see here, these are destination, because you see it says Great
Yeah.
Western Railway.
So these
So-
are just advertising places to visit, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Paddington, Depart,
That's, hang on, that's something, is that Teignmouth or?
no, Wigmore,
There's
something
something
more
there.
lith.
It's
No,
got-
more lith.
You guys have done
yeah.
a lot of work on posters and things like that at the museum. How easy is it to clean up
Sign more lith.
paper of this age? Is it possible? at
Oh,
all?
Hard.
it's
Very difficult.
incredibly difficult.
Very hard.
To separate it from the paste on the tiles.
I don't think you can do that.
And then you probably have to do a several stage process where you bonded it and then removed it and then debonded it.
But even
Very,
just-
very hard job.
But even cleaning them in situ here, because you'd risk dissolving the paper, wouldn't you?
Yeah. It would be a specialist job to clean it for a skilled paper conservator, and here is not the place you'd want to do it.
Well, it's remarkable. I just can't believe all this stuff still. Well, like I can, because let's face it, we see it all over the place. Ah, look
Ooh.
at that. Holiday.
Holiday.
What you found, Siddles?
Madonna.
And if you, oh, it's really hard to see, but maybe you can just make it out. There's a lady's here with like a bob haircut, and it looks like a bathing suit. Can you
Oh,
see
yeah,
her
that
face?
is really hard, isn't it? Yeah.
If I did
Aged.
that.
And of course, the other thing to notice about the corridors, guys, and we saw this at St Paul's, I believe, is this rounded ceiling with square walls. It's not like circles, is it, where we go into a Leslie Green station. This is actually bricks and an archway.
Yeah.
And it almost reminds me, I think I said it at the St Paul's episode, it reminds me of a municipal sewer. You know, that sort of design. It's very,
It's far
very...
classier though when it has
Yeah.
posters on it.
No,
so-
I'm assuming the
Shall we go
past there.
around?
Yeah, is this the left shaft then?
Yeah. What else we got here?
Sorry, mate.
Oh, is that Crystal Palace? Do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yo, look at that.
Oh, and something else is there. Another Great
Southern Railway.
Oh my god, is that a fan over there?
Jeepers, Joe.
Whoa.
Do you know what? It's always a bit spooky when something creeps up on you like that.
Yeah. That's enormous.
That's really rather. It's Garrick Theatre.
Oh yeah.
I've
And
been there.
Look at this. It's
Have
got
you?
the 3 feathers. Prince of Wales.
Of a royal crest or.
Yeah, stuff that sneaks up on you. I was so
you see the big
enthralled
fan
by the
wall?
posters. I didn't notice this massive. Looks like
So-
a rock crusher, doesn't it?
Huge Hidden London Hangouts fan.
Yeah, look, come and have a look at this.
So this,
We're like a big fan.
Christoph, this is in the lift shaft then, isn't it? So
Yeah.
what can you see that with your camera that we can't?
Well,
It's huge.
I mean, I feel that you'd actually have to be
Dust.
stood next to it for scale, but maybe just with the ladder, you get a sense of how big that is.
Big.
Big centrifugal fan by the look of it.
And do you know what? I know this sounds a bit weird, but it's actually quite a large shaft.
Well, it did used to have.
I mean, it would have
I
had
mean,
two
it's like the
50-person lifts.
It had two 50-person lifts in it, so yeah.
Is that the sort of similar size to other things we see? It looks bigger. It almost feels
It
like
wasn't the
wide.
biggest, you know. Over at I think it was St Paul's or
Bank. It was Bank.
What were
They
the
had a
size?
70-person lift, I think.
What were the size lifts at Aldwych, just so I can get perspective? And
They
were
were
about 40.
43, I
Yeah.
think.
so it's similar to that, just slightly larger.
Yeah, those were
Okay.
Otis lifts. These
Yep.
are Sprague
Yeah,
lifts.
yeah, yeah. Just in my head to get the kind of size perspective.
But it's interesting that you got all these railway companies advertising here because
Yeah.
presumably, of course, this is, you know, heart of where tourists would go even in the 1920s and 30s.
Yeah.
Oxford Street, centre of town.
All the kind of theatre and circus
Yeah.
posters.
And shopping. It's the same thing as we
Yeah.
have today.
Have a little shop.
Well, I
Not
mean, if
gonna
somebody
lie.
else would like to come forward and get dripped on and enjoy
I was
the
gonna
view,
say,
you're
there's
more
some
than welcome
really
to
large
get damp.
drips.
I've got quite damp already.
Drippy, drippy,
It's-
drippy.
It's ever so dirty though, isn't it? It's grimy.
Ever so dirty.
Ever so dirty.
Feeling at home, Alex?
Yeah, very. Filthy.
So it turns out you can get round.
Here he is.
So there you are.
Hello.
Hi.
So, Chris, to your left, please tell me that's not a huge dust ball.
I think it might. Ooh, yes, it is.
Look at that.
It really is. But it's because it's pulling
sucked
dust
all of it in.
and it's just caught on the front of it. In fact, all the way down that grid.
The
Grimsby.
thing is, right, that fan is very different to the fans that we normally see with massive great blades. That one, and you're going to love this, Christoph, the last time I saw a fan like this was on Mrs. Brewood, my geography teacher's overhead projector at school. And it sort of sucks air in like a hamster wheel, doesn't it?
It does. That's right.
Yeah.
So it's basically pulling the air in and then throwing it out around the side.
Whopping it out.
Was
Centrifugal
Mrs.
fan.
Brewood a good geography teacher?
Mrs. Brewood actually was responsible for me doing a geography degree.
I was going to say, you
I
remember
loved
her
Mrs.
name.
Brewood, yeah,
So
I
you
loved her.
remember
Anyway,
this.
hello, Mrs. Brewood, if you're watching. Right.
Right then.
Lovely.
we
Let's
get-
get
I
out
think
of the
City
drip.
can't
You get
wait
dripped on?
to get... I'm not so bad, but I think you two
I'm
were
getting
in
dripped.
I'm
the,
getting dripped
Don't look up,
on.
otherwise you get a free drink.
the water.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah, we find ourselves back at Ingersoll for 5 shillings a week. I love all that.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, we always had this funny feeling about Marble Arch, though, didn't we, that there'd be something there. Because different people had mentioned, oh, you ought to visit Marble Arch. And that's kind of how we get a lot of our tip-offs, really, from either staff who work on the network or people who've seen pictures somewhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of, this is what we need from you guys, just tip-offs as to where we should go next, because this has been a bit of a treasure trove, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has been.
Love to stumble in on these kind of forgotten galleries, really, of the layers of posters surviving. It's
I
just
mean,
incredible.
just looking at this, imagine walking down here in 1930 with all of those bright posters getting off a tube train. I mean, it must have been magical.
And would you not think, Laura, as well, there's something really cool about, when you look at tube stations all over the network, they're round tunnels. When you go to old central line bits, they're square walls, round domey roofs. There is an architectural difference between the network lines, isn't there?
There absolutely is, and I love the character and the kind of flavour that these kind of stations have with the colour and the posters, the difference between the platform art and then the art up here. And I've said this before, but sometimes it's the quietest ones that speak loudest.
We're absolutely thrilled at the minute because we're watching the numbers rise like crazy for Series 7 episodes. I think we're up to, what, 30-odd thousand for Finsbury Park when we recorded this. Other episodes are doing really well. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Series 7 is going really, really well. We've got some great places to come. So nice to have all 4 of us out on the tour again as well. Thank you so much, Laura.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Sids. Thank you, Nixie, as always. As always, find us on Instagram, Alex Grunton, Chris Nick, City Holloway, Hidden London Law, and at LT Museum. We've got us 3 now on TikTok, you lucky people. And also down below on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment on with anything you want to say. Nice things are always nice to read as well. We'll be back somewhere really, really cool very, very soon. In the meantime, have yourself a great day and stay safe.
Right, off to the park.
Sandwiches.